Hello, hello, guys. How are
Hi,
you doing, Clem?
I'm well, and you?
I'm fine, thanks. So we are on this new episode of the EmpowHer Journey. This is your community to support your self-growth and live by your own rules. So we are in July, and this month we decided to talk about joy. Joy is so important in our lives. So how to choose joys and how to allow happiness in our life. So we wanted to start with the definition of joy. So I went to look for a definition in the dictionary, and they say it was a feeling of great pleasure and enthusiasm. For me, this is a really complicated definition because, come on, a great feeling of pleasure. Who can say that they have that every day? It's not easy to reach every day. I was thinking about joy more in a way of feeling good, in a way of feeling that I belong where I am in my life. Like really simply just, I'm well, I'm happy and I'm okay. I laugh, I smile. And this is for me the definition of joy. And this is so much easier to reach than the great feeling of happiness. So what about you, Clem? What's your story with joy?
Yeah, well, what you shared really resonates with me as well. And I think we are very influenced maybe by a Western conception of what joy is and what happiness is. And this idea of, and the definition describes that, I agree, like enthusiasm and exaltation.
Yeah.
You think, wow, up high here, right? Like with like this crazy maybe party feeling, like this peak moments in your life. And we know that, of course, we're going to go up and down more or less, and hopefully not too up and not too down, but like more of a constant experience. So I agree with you that joy is not only something available when you're at the top. It can actually be available throughout your life, like happiness. And maybe if we're looking more like towards the Eastern conception of what it is, it's more connected to contentment. It's more connected to also to peace. So maybe there's a difference to make here between joy and pleasure.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's definitely my own experience. Like you were describing too, like the joy in the simple things, feeling aligned, feeling that you belong, feeling you're at your place. It's like, for me, like joy, it emerges like from calm and peace, actually. And that's also very connected for me to my experience with meditation. From this space of calmness that you reach with meditation, you really recharge, you really bring a sense of quietness as well too. But from there, the joy brings the energy, brings the life force, something that makes you feel alive. There's something like that for me with joy. It's it's the smile, it's the wanting to jump around. So that's what makes you move and act in the world. While maybe if you're just calm and peaceful, maybe you just stay there and you're a little bit like sort of passive, possibly. But with the joy, you engage. The joy, you go out there, you shake your lights, you have an impact, and you make other people's life wonderful, spreading that joy.
Yeah, I agree. And I love when you say that it's an energy. I really feel like joy is an energy as well. It's different from pleasure. For me, pleasure, it's really about ourselves. So we have pleasure with something, but it's a bit egocentric, With joy, it's kind of the contrary. It starts from us and it goes around. You can spread joy, and this is what's amazing with joy. And I definitely remember when we had the talk about joy, when we were thinking, lots of people think that joy and peace of mind, they are not compatible.
Yeah.
And that's not true, because from the peace of mind, you can have the spark of joy.
Yes.
If you're too busy, if you're thinking too much, if you're worried, you can't feel the spark. You can see the spark in yourself. But when you're, I'm alive, I'm okay, I'm whole, and I belong where I am, there you can find this energy to spread. Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah, that's so well put, isn't it? While the pleasure and partying, like we're imagining, like partying on a Saturday night and looking for sensations, the pleasure given maybe from substances as well, that maybe looking for that hit of pleasure. While if you have, as you say, exactly, if you have more space in your mind, space in your life, you're grounded, you're calm, you're balanced inside, and from there there's this life force that's come out, can come out, it can shine for you, this energy. And yes, I agree that it's very, very different to, I think pleasure as well is limited in time, limited maybe to something that I do. If I do this, then I will have pleasure, or this activity, or this eating something, and then it can lead to also to problematic behaviors. While with joy can be really infinite, can be really unlimited. Yeah.
All the time in yourself. I remember I saw a study about pleasure. We have more pleasure thinking about having something or getting something or doing something than what we have when we do it.
Yeah.
That means it's really an illusion from the brain more than a real feeling that we have. Contrary to joy that we can feel, as you say, everywhere, when we want, when we can. And that's really different, definitely.
Yeah, it's so connected to how the brain works, and it's absolutely fascinating to study this, and to see the implication, and to see what keeps us maybe chase those pleasures, or addicted to them, or focus too much on them, while if you're actually more focused, and the calm and the peace, it also, in my experience, comes with working on yourself, working deeply, and introspection, and really being super authentic about, okay, I'm going to discover who I am, what I want, and how I can how I can become more of who I truly am. That's also bringing you to a deeper level, and from that deeper level, that's where those, let's call them pure energies, happiness and joy. That's where they are, calm, peace, love, rather than the surface of the pleasure. That's just maybe not long lasting, and it can come and it can go. It's you can't really hold it, you can't really grasp it.
It's not, you're not responsible for it. You need to look for it outside. So as long as it's outside to feel it,
you're chasing and chasing, it can be a never ending. So let us really nicely to our second question, that we were considering together. What was then, so is joy a choice then? Can we make a choice consciously, or can we gradually make that choice more and more? And how do we allow it and own it? And we were really careful, as always, with the choice of words that we use. So choosing and allowing. Maybe you would think, is that really with joy, with happiness? Really, can I? Is that really what you mean? So hopefully we'll be a bit clearer with what I mean by this. Yeah. And in those, so autopilot sort of mode, and the way the brain works, if we let it unconsciously, it's easy to be outside of that, to be outside of joy, to be outside of happiness, and to it's actually the most familiar way of functioning. We know that very, very well. So it's a comfort zone, isn't it? While the more you work on yourself, the more you realize you can actually do something about it. So that's the good news.
Yay.
So it's really, the first thing is probably to to come and question this idea of fatalism. Yeah, okay, things are like this, life is hard, this is how it goes. I can't do anything about it. And change that, really looking at how you can take your responsibility, how and what you can be doing to actually gradually change that, being able to choose for joy more and more, and allowing the happiness to shine through, because actually it's always there. As we said, it's always very deep down here. This energy is available, the love, the peace, the happiness, the joy. We need to let it shine through. Okay, so that's where we can act.
Allow it is from to share a bit of my story. Last week, for those who listened to the other episode, I lost my mom 3 months ago. So last week we decided with my sisters to sell her RV. And this is really hard for me because I used to go on holidays with her in the RV for a long time. So RV equal mom in my mind, and that's that's how it is. And I was crying the whole time. I was really feeling down for 4 days. And at some point I was like, okay, no, I don't want to be like that. I don't want my life to be like that right now. So I really took the time to accept it. Okay, I'm not well, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling angry, and that's okay. But after I was thinking, okay, how can I manage that? So first, be aware. I'm not happy right now. I'm not, as you said, I'm unjoyful. I don't want to be unjoyful. I have one life. Why the hell would I be unjoyful? So you see, when you're not unjoyful, you break the pattern. I don't want to be unjoyful right now. So what can I do to make the spark shine again? And that's when you choose. You choose to be happy. You choose to be joyful, because as we say, joy is from yourself. So this is a present you can give yourself. And as you love to say, if it's present, it's being in the present moment. So I was like, okay, go back to now. You're in your bed. You're okay. Your sisters are okay. Everything is okay in the end. So you're just setting an RV. The memories will be there. The love is still there. So it's okay. I can smile again. I can be happy again. So being the present moment is really where you find joy in yourself, and you find the spark, and that's why you can choose, you can decide, you're responsible for joy. And if there's blocks, because sometimes there's blocks, I really wanted to cry for a while, and that was okay to cry, but you can, you allow the feeling, the negative feeling, and then you choose it. You choose to be happy again. You choose to be in joy. You choose to smile. And we know with MRI that when you smile, your brain thinks, hey, we are happy. So just smile, just go in the streets and smile and see the others smiling back to you. Just smile for yourself in the mirror, and your brain will think it's happy. And that's amazing.
It's a really quick and easy hack, isn't it?
Yeah, just smile. That's it.
Absolutely. And we have to be aware that our mind is trying to give us some stories. And so it's normal, as you said, that there are emotions, and grief is such a beautiful emotion. So of course it needs to be there, it needs to go through, it needs to, because that's part of the beautiful love. But we also have, and we recognize that, especially for the little things that don't really matter, that we hold on to, the little stories, and just by, a silly conversation, or someone in the street going at you and being unnice to you, for example, and you'd be like, thinking about that forever.
Oh my God.
And so these are proof of how the brain wants to keep you focusing on this negative aspect. While, as you say, we can actually choose to change our focus, and that needs training. It needs to train. And your mind is going to go wander again, and you come back and you choose your focus, and you come back to here, you come back to now. What is here in this situation that I can be happy about? Am I actually, in my body now, in this situation, is in this life, or am I thinking about the past? Am I thinking about the future? So training your mind to choosing, and that's where it's a choice. It's training your focus. It's training your focus point, and what you focus on grows. So the more you're able to, that's really gradually also helping you to come out of a difficult time or situation, or a few difficult days, let's say. By gradually training your focus, then you can, after a while, come back to your normal sort of way of operating and your normal level of joy. And the more you do that, it actually increases your baseline of joy and happiness, which is absolutely amazing. That's one of the only things ever that can actually increase your level of happiness, because otherwise you always come back to the same baseline, right? As we know. So not only it helps you when there are moments that you are down, but it helps you overall, because you're actually experiencing a better life, better day to day, moment by moment. Not only those moments of pleasure, or you're not only happy during the weekends or during your holiday. This is the holidays at the moment, probably for a lot of you, and you might be feeling quite calm and quite relieved, and maybe it's easier to be in joy. But the more you learn this ability to focus, the more you can access joy as well in at work, during moments that aren't so great. I don't know, you're stuck in traffic and that sort of thing.
The commute,
shopping, or whatever. And of course, there will be moments where you'd be like experiencing emotions, negative and anger and things like that. But you recover so much quicker, and you actually recover to a better baseline of happiness. So it's really worth it.
It's funny that you talk about being in traffic jam, because when I was younger and stuck in traffic jam, I was like challenging myself to be the happiest girl in the traffic jam, like putting some music, laughing, and trying to make contact with people around me. So I could spread joy. And it worked. It worked so well. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's so cool, isn't it? Like, if you approach moments like that in your life where you know that you don't like, and you're challenge yourself, like, actually, I'm going to try to bring as much joy as I can into, I don't know, queuing at the bank or whatever, and play with that. That can just transform completely the experience for you and for others with you.
And for others, definitely.
And you tell us about it and send us some videos, because we want to see.
I will.
It makes me think there was, during the lockdown, there was in a small town in the UK, there's someone that had put a camera outside his house. So it was during the first lockdown, so it was really limited. And he put a sign on the pavement just in front of his house saying, okay, this is the pavement of silly walking. If you're walking here, you have to walk in a silly way, otherwise you go on the other side.
I love it.
And that just went, it's just the silliest thing. Everyone, with their mask and worried with social distancing, were doing this.
That's so cool.
All sorts of just funniest way of walking. So why not? Why take things so seriously? Let's just bring
some fun. Serious. That would be amazing if we could all challenge ourselves to be more happy and more joyful every day. Definitely. And one thing I wanted to add is that sometimes what's blocking us could be that we don't feel worthy of being happy. So this is another story, and stay tuned, because we're going to talk about that next month. So this is really important. Sometimes it's just that it's not that you don't want to be happy, it's because you don't feel like you deserve it, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, that's a major, one of the major limiting beliefs. I am not worthy of it.
I'm not a good person, so I don't deserve to be happy. I'm not good enough, but
So, for next month, guys.
So we wanted to say in this part that what you need is to rebound. Make happiness a challenge, make joy a challenge. Change something in your environment, as you said about we are all walking on the streets, We can make silly dances, and that's fun. Change something in your environment so you're happy. You have a cup of coffee and it says happy morning or something like that, that you can, find a spark every day in every moment, just because that's something that you decided. And it can be to do something. I know the girl we invited in this podcast, we're all talking about putting music. That's a great way as well. You just put some music and you listen to it and you can start dancing and everything. If you feel down, just call someone, call loved ones, a friend. When I'm really done, I like to put on some series, like funny series. And I know 20 minutes, I'm gonna laugh, and then life is gonna be okay. So you have, I'm sure, lots of things. Just decide to do it. Decide that you need this gift of being present and being happy.
It's such a great thing, and your example of series to make you laugh is wonderful, and reminds me of a study also that it was for people that were, I think it was severe diseases, probably cancer, I'm not exactly sure. They were playing on seeing how the power of laughter and seeing things regularly that would make them laugh, and how much it impacted their immune system. This is how powerful it is. And what it does, it's so simple, but it's exactly what we've been describing. It helps you change your focus, because you're focusing on this wonderful song that you're listening, because you're focusing on someone being silly in the series, or you're gradually out of the story in your mind of the dark clouds, and seeing a little bit of a flower here, a little bit of a ray of sunshine here. So it happened to me the other day that I woke up after a series of nightmares, and I can have very, very intense dreams. So feeling really overwhelmed and lots of emotions, and not very rested as well for having had a night of intense dreams. So I managed to did my morning meditation, which always helped. I managed to get up, but I felt like I wanted to stay in bed. Managed to get up, had a little chat with my husband, and told him about the dreams. I had a little cry as well. I needed to cry. I felt better for it, that's something we're gonna touch on later. But sometimes we see crying as something negative, but not necessarily.
No, we need it.
So I had a little cry, felt better, and then I took charge, because I knew I needed a little bit more this morning. So I had cake for breakfast. I had some cake in the freezer. I was like, okay, this is cake.
That's pleasure.
Emergency cake in the freezer to remember for next time. It wasn't planned, but it came in really handy. I choose to wear something pink that was, bringing me some color and some spark. Put on some lipstick that really inspired me, and then decided, because I had some work to do, I could do outside. So I decided to go out, work in a cafe, smile to people, have a little chat, just for this shift, to help myself, as you say, to have for my environment to help me change my focus. And I had a really nice and productive day. Started a bit later than when I wanted, but that was needed.
That happens.
So it's just an example of how it would look like, sort of in everyday life, or for everyday sort of things.
You make this a challenge again. You are in control of your brain. You are in control. It had been in control for all your life, but now decide that you take the reins. You can take the reins and master it. This is a muscle, and as you said, Clem, the more you train it, the more it's gonna be easier. Train it every day. This morning I wake up happy. How can you make it more? This morning you wake up, okay, how can you make it more joyful? And try it every day too. I remember when I broke up with my ex-boyfriend, and the house was still in our style. And I was like, oh my God, I need to change something. So I was with a friend and she was like, yeah, you could do this and this. And she went on Pinterest and we found so many things on it. And I was like, yeah, but that costs money and blah, blah, blah. This is not my priority right now. And she looked at me and she said, yeah, but you're living there every day. This is the first thing you're going to see in the morning, the last thing you're going to see before going to sleep. Do you really want to still have this feeling every day? And I was like, oh my God, no. I just took my car, I went to a shop and I bought everything. Not everything. I bought what I wanted the most. And I changed the whole house and it looks like me. And when I come home, I'm happy. And when I wake up in the morning, I see my things and I'm happy. And the same when I go to sleep at night. And yeah, this is what it is. You can control everything. You can give meaning to what you want to give meaning. Erase what you don't want. So take control of yourself, of your brain, and be happy. Yeah, that's so cool.
It's time to change the game, guys. Really, it really is.
Yeah.
And that's the way you get to live by your own rules, really, because you can. Then you have a choice. Then you have these possibilities. So yeah, change the game.
Good. So next we wanted to talk about how to feel joy every day, like practical ways. And I like this idea of why joy is a compass in life. So the first one is really about short term. How do we get joy right now? And the second part is going to be in the long term. How do we stay in joy and make it a compass? So Clem, you're good about routine.
Yeah,
everything.
As we know, I love my meditation in my routine. It's been such an important part of my balance. And as we say very, very often in here on the Empower Journey, it's really about the consistency. It's not about doing one thing every time you're on holiday or one yoga session once a week. It's more than this. It's about bringing to your life and changing the way you experience your life. So it has to be connected to your lifestyle. It's really about your lifestyle, and it's about the holistic approach to it. It's about how you approach your body. It's about being also in balance. So careful as well with like being too strict as well with your diet, for example. So a model that works really well for me and for a lot of people, again, everyone is different, would be to look at things like 80%, 20%. So having a very healthy, balanced diet with a lot of fruits and vegetables, and 20% as well of pleasures and nice meals and going out in a restaurant and going for an ice cream and
like the freezer cake.
That's right. Cake for breakfast if it needs to stay to a reasonable amount for sure. But don't deprive yourself as well from an ice cream in the summer. Don't have 5 ice cream a day, but every now and then. So 80-20% works quite well. Because what we need to be wary of is the violence towards ourselves that we can easily, when we get into those modes, get in. We can become really violent, and that creates frustration, which then can create yo-yos and things like you cannot really sustain in the long term. So it's healthy as a majority, but also human. Also, you might want to have a drink every now and then. That sort of things. It's being reasonable, but also defining what is reasonable for yourself. Your own rules. We can be very influenced by trends and diets. Like sort of this is the new thing to do. There's nothing wrong with trying new things, but careful with where the line with self-violence could come in.
It's the good it comes. Yeah, I remember I have a friend and she was tracking everything: her sleep, her food, her yoga sessions, like everything. And at first she was like, yeah, it's because I'm in control and I like it and it's great. And she was really feeling well doing this. So I was like, okay, that's not my thing, but if you like to do it, just keep doing it. And at some point she was like, oh my God, I missed a yoga session. Oh my God, I ate too much yesterday night. Oh my. And she became like, not frustrated, but angry, like really angry, a real anger and culpability as well. And I ended up telling her, it's not doing you any good right now. Maybe at first it was great when you were just tracking to track and to know yourself, but right now it just really violent for you. She was like hating herself for didn't check an item, you know? So yeah, be careful about 80-20. I love that. This is really a balance, because you do yourself good in a balanced way, in a healthy way. But in the same time, you can let yourself be. Sometimes you just need to listen to yourself. Yeah, I want some sugar and it's okay. I want to go out and it's okay. I don't know, what do you want, but that's okay to allow yourself to feel that, to feel pleasure and to have fun. So I love the 80-20, but yeah, be careful about the violence you can have towards yourself. It's really important.
Because you need to be able to sustain it in the long term. So personally, I went through quite a bit of a weight loss journey in the last 2 years. Lost 4 stone, which is 25 kilos. So, and for me, the model of 80-20 really works, because I had to relearn and to create a new lifestyle. So the 80% is really what what my body needs, a good balance, loads of fruit and veg. So again, I worked with a dietitian to make sure like I was sort of having a better idea of measures. But also I'm it's okay to have pleasures and to have meals, to at least 2 meals a week. That's and that way I can measure out, and I'm sure that I'm not switching the balance and going 80% eating
junk
too
food
much, which isn't good for me, because I want to be healthy. I want to have a healthy body. So just again, maybe as another example of what that can be, and it's finding what works for you, more specifically in this modality. Yeah, it's flexible as well. 80-20. It's just to give you as well a little bit of tracking initially, and then
the idea is really to find your balance.
Yes.
Find what's really working for you. We wanted to do a list of things that can make you happy, like right now in short term. Break the pattern of you thinking about bad things, or you angry, or everything. And put on some music. You can dance, you can do meditation. I love to do yoga, for example. There's lots of different kind of yogas, and choose the one that makes you woohoo, bring you to flow. Know yourself, that's so important. Yeah, right now I need that, because sometimes your body will tell you, your brain will tell you, this is what you want right now. You're angry, just go for a walk, and you need the walk. Gratitude is amazing. You can't think and be in gratitude and be angry. That's not possible. If you say thank you for who I am, thank you for me being alive, you can be angry. That's impossible. But this is really, really important. And laughing, as we say, when you laugh, your brain thinks it's happy. So that's so easy. You have nothing to do. There's lots of muscles for the mouth, but it's really easy to lift them. So just smile. That's so important.
Yeah, that's really really easy. But it's also really easy to have your day go by and not having experience laughter. So there are important reminders. Maybe listening to the list, you'll be like, yeah, I know about all that. But do you do them every day? Do you do what makes you happy every day? Do you do? It doesn't have to be long. This 2 minutes of singing in the shower to a tune that you love in the morning. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. You're driving in the car, you're laughing at something, at a podcast, or do you know what I mean? It's not it doesn't have to be something that outside of life. It really the position again, the challenge is bring that to your life. I loved some invitations as well, and they're a bit like the similar sort of line, like in the next meeting that you have at work, can you make that person smile? How many times can you make that person smile? Yeah. Little things like this, and it switches and it puts you in a mood of like, okay, I'm getting there. I'm going to make them laugh, or I'm going to make them smile, or
And that's where you get confident as well in your ability to be happy and in your ability to spread the joy. Because when you're in the street and you're like smiling and people are smiling back at you, you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. Life is amazing. Life is great.
Yeah.
So that kind of challenges are really amazing for yourself, but for others as well. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Exactly. So on the brain sort of level, something that we wanted to also mention to you guys, we've done a little bit of research around hormones and about how how the brain reacts to different things that we can be doing, and we've discovered and rediscovered that for joy and happiness, there's actually all the hormones are
4 of them.
The 4 hormones take part and have an impact in the way we experience joy and happiness. So that tells us, although we probably need still to discover a lot of things about the brain, but it tells us how it's triggered and what happens in us. So the dopamine, which is one of the hormones, is an hormone that is connected to success and anti-fatigue. So it's about achieving things. It's about what you can do about that is really it can be the joy of ticking things off your to-do list, having a sense of being productive. So one of our advice for that is like, make sure you don't set yourself for failures, and really look at those little hacks again that can really help. Because sometimes when we put something in our to-do list, like let's say writing a book or getting fit, it's more a project than a task. I'm not going to get it done by the end of the day, so I'm going to feel like I failed. So think about tasks. So for example, writing that book, it can be write a paragraph today, and yes, at the end of the day you can go getting fit. It can be exercising 10 minutes, or doing 10 sun salutes in yoga. Done. So really play with this as well to create something favorable for you to feel this winning feeling. The dopamine is really about this winning feeling. You can use affirmations as well. They can be useful. Yeah.
True. And that's how we see that it's all inside of us. Because the hormones are in our brains and in your whole body. The second hormone is endorphin. So this is connecting to your body. And this is to survive and bear pain and suffering. So laughing, crying, please don't cut onions just to get endorphin. That's not working. Stretching, yoga, dancing, moving, going out, it's connected to your body. So the more you use your body when you are unhappy, the more it's gonna put you in movement. And as we said, the movement is where you find happiness and you find light again. So just go out, do something. And when we were talking about crying, this is really important, because when you want to cry, there's information in your brain that needs to go out. So if your body wants to cry, it's because it needs to cry. It's not just let go of the social thing. It's boys don't cry and stuff like that. If you need to cry, you need to cry. So if you're too shy to do it in front of people, just go in the toilets or go somewhere else in a place where you feel safe and you can let everything go. But please cry. That's really important. And please laugh. This is really good for your body. That's how you survive pain. Imagine this is a reflex that we get from old times. This is what we need. We need to cry, we need to laugh, we need to move. So use that.
Exactly that. It's exactly as you say, like it's being alive in this body, in this body, And
we are emotions, yeah.
and so that really changes the focus. Instead of being in my mind in this story, I come back to the present moment because I experience something in my body. And it's so funny to realize that crying actually gives you pleasure hormones.
Pleasure, yeah.
And I found in my experience that the more you allow yourself to cry in every situation, the shorter then you need to cry.
I was hypersensible when I was younger, and I was like, no, I don't want to show it. I don't want to show it. And I was like, okay, I let go. I'm gonna cry. I remember I saw a one-leg pigeon. I cried for 30 minutes. It was so silly. And then now it's okay. I just have the tears in my eyes, but I don't really cry anymore when I'm hypersensible. So
yeah.
The more you let go, the more you can control what's going on.
Don't like push it down. Don't like go.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be here, because then that's when then later on it can create like this big innate cry, and then you can't stop it. So so it's a bit, it may sound a paradox, but the more you cry a little bit regularly, the less you will need to have this massive cry. And again, every situation is different, but like in sort of normal everyday life, I found it's great. And you were mentioning about yoga as well. I'm fascinated about how, the symbolic around yoga, it really helps to shift position, but not only physically but also mentally. So sometimes when you're stuck in your mind about thinking about the same thing over again, a conversation or a problem, so moving your body, switching the position of your body can help with getting unstuck from the mind. So body-mind connection is really well embodied in yoga, as well as other things. So that's definitely a great tool.
Yeah, in the beginning, the yoga was there to prep the body to go into meditation. So it was really how to make the connection whole enough so you can go into meditation after. So that's pretty amazing.
So again, like we were saying, it's also an invitation to be really in tune with your body.
With your body.
The more you do this, the more you practice, the more you will know as well what you need, and you can find this answer depending on the situation, the circumstance, what happened, the moment of the day, possibly, all of that can
yeah, true.
Yeah, cool. And then we move on to the oxytocin, and so another hormone, oxytocin, which is about connection, love. So that's really connected to being an animal, being a mammal more specifically. So we are, and we forget that we are, don't we? Because we sit so much in our minds sometimes. We are part of nature, we are part of this beautiful world and Mother Earth. So to grow this, to have more access to oxytocin, it's really connected to your self-love. It's really about spending time with your friends, with your loved ones, with people you love. It's also very like sort of tactile, so it can be that's why as well we love massages, and you can play with doing auto massage as well, massaging your hands yourself, massaging your feet. We don't do that enough. Because we don't think about it. We don't have this it's not natural, it's not a habit. But when you look at children, the way that they comfort themselves is actually very, very tactile, and they need to comfort themselves, they need to touch
everything.
They are very in tune with this tactile need. It can be being with your pets as well. They're wonderful for that. Cats and dogs, you see them, they want that, they need to be touched, and it's an invitation for you as well to touch. So it's really great for you too. Hugging your loved ones as well, kissing, hugging, and being so present when you hug. I love the one of the little invitation as well to be super present when you hug someone is to be attentive to the other person's breathing, and if you can hear the heartbeat of the other person. So be so there, you're so focused, you're so engaged in the hug. so again, this idea of focus, isn't it? That you make it last longer. You take the most out of it rather than maybe be thinking of whatever.
Yeah.
So play with that too. And that's going to bring more trust to your experience, trust with others, trust with yourself, and enable you to answer that need of connection that we all have. We all have that big need of connection.
And we all need. Yeah, I remember when we were preparing this episode, there's a dark story behind how we discovered oxytocin and how it works. It was, I don't remember in which year it was, but they made a study with babies, and they were half babies having a normal life, and half of the other babies, they were having food, sleep, like everything to survive, but no hugs, no kisses, nothing. And a lot of those babies died. They didn't die about not being fed. They didn't die about not being deprived of sleep. They died because they had no connection with other humans. So we really are animals. We live together and we really need each other. That's really important. We can really be independent and manage our own life. But we need friends, we need family, we need people we trust, and we need hugs. As you say, when you see children, they hug each other all the time. They are happy and they hug each other and they hold hands and blah blah blah. We need that. So yeah, it's okay. Enjoy that. Enjoy it. That's amazing. I'm so tactile. I love that.
It's something sometimes to learn. It's sometimes to
just a tap on the shoulder. Just
changing the habit, and it's so important to remember. And I think that's really one great learning with oxytocin is that we talk a lot, we hear a lot about love and self-love. It's not so obvious to also hear about this need, this physical need. Love is a physical need. Connection and love are a physical need. So we need to be aware of that, and we need to listen to that. And it's, a hug is completely free. As you said, tap on the shoulder, or touching your pets, touching your children or children around you. Your friends. And there are cultures as well, like preparing, that are used to touching a lot more. They were doing some studies, and apparently 2 friends in Mexico will touch, if they going for coffee for half an hour, they touch like 18 times or something like that, while 2 friends going for coffee in the US or in Europe will touch a lot less, probably once, or maybe not even this. So so maybe we need to gradually change that, actually.
Yeah. And now that you say that, I remember when I was younger, a Chinese girl used to live at our place because we had a room, an empty room. And she used to have a foot bath every evening to wash her feet, but like with the face that while she was washing her feet, she was letting go of the day energies and stuff like that. And she was massaging them after. So she was really taking 10 minutes, like 5 minutes to wash them in her, I don't know how you call that, big bowl. And then she was massaging, like it was her ritual. And it's something that they do in China. That's something that they really have as a habit. And I thought, like, it's pretty amazing. 10 minutes and fantastic. And she had like oxytocin, and she had like endorphin and everything. Just in 10 minutes every night. That's pretty amazing.
And the intention that goes with that is beautiful, isn't it? Like washing this day.
Letting go. It's the night. I'm ready to.
The past is the past. I love it.
It's really cool.
Fantastic.
And the 4th hormone is serotonin. So this is a hormone that we get from respect in a social way. Social belonging, security, when we feel safe, when we feel aligned with ourselves, when we know that we're in the right place in our life, in our house and everything, and when we find our purpose. So this is something that we can build with meditation, with surrender, with letting go. I like the idea of surrender. Every time I feel like and clenching on things because I want this to happen and I have high expectations and I don't want to be disappointed or something like that. It's, okay, I surrender. It's gonna be okay. The universe, life, whatever has my back, it's gonna be okay. I will be resilient. So just trust in myself. I'm in the right place and I surrender. It's really important to be able to do that because you get the peace of mind where you can find the spark to have joy. So yeah, serotonin is really, really important. And this is the hormone that's missing when you're in depression, for example. So I don't know medically if meditated is a key to depression. I really don't know because I'm not a doctor. But if you can train yourself to find and get the serotonin in your body, maybe it's a great way to prevent depression at least, or depression state that we all have usually because we all have them. So yeah, just train it. I'm in the right place. I let go. It's gonna be okay. I trust myself. I have faith in myself. Life is great. And get the gratitude.
Yeah, the gratitude here works really well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's about having enough of this level of serotonin in your system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, as you say, I'm not a doctor either. I remember one study though about meditation and depression, which was about when people had starting meditated. I think it was like for 6 weeks or something like that. They were a lot less likely to go again into depression.
Oh, okay. So because I know antidepressant meds, they give a kick-ass in your brain so your brain makes the serotonin again. And I remember that we talked about that during the preparation. Serotonin is called by your gut. So that's really important for you to eat well as well, because it also starts in your gut. So this is all connected. This was the conclusion for this part. It's all connected. So the more you take care of yourself, the more you're in the present moment, the more you're aligned with yourself, with others, the more you laugh, the more you're gonna be happy. It's all connected. Please just take care of yourself and you're gonna be okay.
That's beautiful. That's that's absolutely spot on. Connection with the mind, body, spirit. I think we spot on, aren't we? Like that's just so that's like that's the little work that you have to do, like sort of every day to get to the long-term effect, right? So we really looking at the long term at raising this baseline of happiness. We want to increase your experience of joy, of feeling well, and I love joy for that, because again, there's this idea of energy, this idea of potential, this idea of creativity, of feeling alive,
feeling alive,
fired up, because there's nothing more sad than just being like not really sort of inspired by
like it's okay.
Like when you ask people, "Are you doing?" Not too bad.
No, that's so sad. For me, that's really sad.
For you. Let's get more for you.
I know.
So joy then becomes
a compass.
Yes. So you have to. I think you have to sort of. It's like a little bit of a cleanup first. Clean up the cobwebs. Clean up the access to more joy, and the more you have access to it, the more it becomes. You know, again, we're training. It's really, as you say, a muscle that we train, and then it can help you to direct yourself as well, to take decisions, to choose, to see, okay, where should I go next? Follow the joy.
In the last few years, for me, it was a revelation, because I'm a really intellect girl. Like I like to think. Logical, I like blah blah blah, I never trusted my body. Like, I like my body, it's okay, I'm okay with my appearance and stuff, but I never trusted my gut. I never trusted my body, the emotion it was having. It was like my brain, and I was really proud of that. And my body. And at some point, I really understood that my body and my brain, the same, it goes together. And as we said, the more you are going to do yoga and walks and stuff, the more you're going to trust your body. It will give back to you 100 million. That's pretty amazing how your body knows before yourself. A lot of times it knows before yourself, so you really need to listen to it. And that's something I learned because it wasn't from my birth. And it's how joy becomes a compass. Because right now, sometimes I know the answers not from my brain, but I know the answers from my body. And that's pretty amazing because it never lies to me. It's never wrong. It's like evidence. I know it's like that. I don't understand, but I know it is like that. It has to happen. And that's pretty amazing because I don't have to think anymore. I don't have to be busy in my brain all the time. It's like a full trust in myself, but not in my capacity of thinking, in my whole self. And that's a great compass, because sometimes you know that things are going to be difficult, but that's an evidence. This is what you have to do. And because it's an evidence, because your full body and your full brain is connected to that evidence, it's easy. It's not simple, but it's easy to do it. And I wish that everyone around me could feel that and could be able to get that. So really get the connection with your body, trust your body, trust yourself. Because your brain doesn't have all the information. The conscious brain doesn't have all the information. The rest has it. So trust yourself, trust your body. It's really important.
Exactly.
And joy is a great emotion to follow.
Yeah. It becomes a signal to a different type of intelligence. And this is exactly how intuition work. What we call intuition is access to a different type of intelligence. It doesn't mean it's not rational or anything like that. It's just that even our brain is making connections unconsciously to knowledge, to things, and but we don't need to be conscious. We don't need to rationalize them. We just need to be listening to the signal of our body. And that's exactly what you're describing. And I think it's also allowing, again, this connection to happen between my mind and my body, rather than trusting only my mind. And please don't trust only your mind.
In the end, it's a beautiful love, you know? Like, I love myself enough to trust every part of me. To trust my body as I trust my brain. As I told you, my brain wasn't really functional this last time because of the grief. And the fact that I could trust my body, okay, I can think. I'll just let go, you know, I'll just trust whatever my body asks me. And it was wonderful. It was amazing. That's pure love. That's unconditional love. And that's so beautiful to be able to, trust the whole self and not just neurons.
Absolutely. So it really creates this holistic perception. And it's amazing because this unity and the connections between all the things really happen from this work that you do every day. Gradually you have access to more, you make the connections. So that also brings to you a capacity to being more resilient, to having less of the big ups and downs that we described. So this is more constant. And also the beauty of that is just also taking into account all that you need, all your needs. You need a connection, you need your belongings, your safety, your security, so on an emotional and mental level, you will feel fulfilled. and it becomes more natural. It becomes more part of the flow again, not being needing to rationalize or to understand everything, or oh, I need that now. Don't try to figure it out and just be like, yeah, but I just did this and that yesterday or the other. No, just like, okay, I need that now. It's gonna take 5 minutes. I go for it. That's all I need to know, and I need to do. So it creates a dance that gets more and more fluid. More happiness and joy. So again, I love this concept of allowing, because by doing that, by doing this groundwork, this foundation work, then you allow the life force to just take over you, to just really come to every part of you, mind, body, and spirit, to light every part of you.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Beautiful. So our last section, as usual, is a little bit of a past regression. So if we could go back in time and give some tips to our younger self. So it's a great question as well, because it helps you to consider your own experiences and see things sometimes in a different angle. So what would you say to your younger self
about joy? There's multiple things. I feel like a lot of times when we're a kid, we don't think about that. We are in joy, we are sad, we're angry, but we go back to joy every time. And I feel like there's what you said about, in Western countries, we have a different idea of joy, like it's amazing, it's great, and blah, blah, blah. No, it's not that. And a lot of time I wasn't happy because of the others, because when you are grieving, you can't be happy. Not true. When you're sad, you need to stay in sadness, or it's not really important. Not true. I feel like I would really tell myself, you can allow joy whenever you want, and the more you do it, the more happier you're gonna be, and that's all that matters. We are not on this earth to be sad, to be angry. We're there to be connected. As we said, we need oxytocin, we need to be connected, we need serotonin. So we need to find respect, we need to be aligned, and we need dopamine, so we need to move and get in touch with our body. It's like we are made for this. So I would really tell myself this: you are made to be happy, you are made to be in joy, so find it every day. And I like this idea of challenge, because this is a choice, so you can challenge yourself to find happiness every day. And it reminds me of every day do more of what makes you happy. Find 1 thing, 2 things, 10 things every day to be happy, know yourself, and get that series. I like Friends, for example. Every time I'm sad, I'm watching Friends. I've been watching for for so many years now. I know them by heart, but that makes me happy, and that's what counts. And the other thing is to really make the focus on something that we've been saying for a lot of episodes. Negative emotion tells you that you need to change something. I'm feeling angry about this person. It means I need to change something. I'm sad every day when I go to work. Okay, I need to change something. With joy, it's like it's showing you the way where you need to go. And I would tell that to myself, because sometimes I'm pretty sure I've done some choices I don't regret, but I knew in myself that I shouldn't go this way, And now I know I need to listen to what brings me joy. If I'm happy when I do something, that's where I need to go. That's what I need to do. So that would be my tips.
That's great.
For myself. What about you?
Yeah. So for me, what came up was how I felt in a period of my life when I was really really down and really facing depression chronically.
Yeah.
I think some part of me believes like, okay, it's gonna pass at some point. There's, you just need to be patient. And it was during my teenagers, so maybe it's just like being a teenager. Like they all say it's tough. So when I'll come out of that phase, then I'll, I was like, it's like I was waiting to become an adult. Basically, I was so impatient. I was like, all my problems will be over when I'll be 18.
Lie.
They don't disappear, do they? It's like when you think, okay, I'm gonna move to the other side of the world and all my problems will be there with me. Oh well, actually, they come with you in the suitcase. So I would really go to myself and just say that it's not your fault, that it's not something you. So I was really stuck in the fatality, feeling like, what can I do about it? So I would really change that for myself and really say, no, you can get help, but you can't do it alone. So don't try to sort yourself out alone. And I was experiencing bulimia at the time, and didn't tell anyone. I didn't share it with anyone until it was over many years after. So I couldn't. I don't know. I felt like I had to deal with it on my own. So that's definitely something I tell myself. It's just like, don't try to sort yourself out on your own. You can't. And work sooner on these foundation of training and training your focus and using those different tools to access more joy every day. Because I still remember having some moments where I felt okay, although there were some moments where I felt really down. So I feel like it would have really helped at
the balance.
And gradually, help me to came out of it. So that's also something I wanted to share for everyone else. So if you're listening to us and you're feeling that you are sort of in a deep depression state at the moment, and you're feeling like you're struggling to get up in the morning, or you can't sleep, or it's sort of a careful as well with how you're doing, and be also quite realistic to what's happening to you, and seek the help that's going to help you to come out of it. That's absolutely fine to need help. That's definitely the message I would tell myself.
Thanks for sharing. All right, so this is the end of this episode. We hope that you had a great time. We were so happy to talk about that. It's really important for us. So thank you for listening to us. We want you to subscribe so you'll get all the other episodes, especially the next one on why you're worth it and why you deserve to be happy every day. So please send us your reviews, your questions, and everything that you want to share to us at theempowherjourney@gmail.com. We read every mail, so please do it, and we wish you a lovely day. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you soon.